guys, it's Ray, and I'm back with some channel messages. I kept hearing they don't understand you. So we're going to go ahead and actually jump in to see um, what do you need to know at this time in regards to they don't understand you. If you want to book with me, the information is in the description. Please be mindful of any scammers. And if you want to support me in any way, the information is also in the description. All right. I've already cleansed the energy. You could be seeing angel number 2323. You could also be seeing 333. You may be drawn to the number 3 at this time. I don't know. Something could be significant about when you were 12 years old. Something could have happened that changed your life. Um, for some of you, this is some sort of abuse that you may have suffered. So I do want to apologize in advance for any triggers that this may cause. You have the Three of Wands. For some of you, this could have started when you were 3 years old. It's like whatever happened, you felt betrayed. But for a lot of you, you didn't understand what was actually going on. But you definitely felt betrayed. For some of you, I'm hearing, how could somebody that's supposed to love me actually hurt me? For some of you, maybe something happened and you were forced to go live with someone else. So maybe you were on one side of town or living in one type of situation, but then you went to a different side of town to go live with someone. So let's say maybe you lived in the hood, but then you end up going to the suburban areas. And it's like, whatever situation this was, 222, as I look up, it was gonna, in some way, you felt as though it was gonna be able to balance things out for you. So for a lot of you, it could have been a better situation where you went from being hurt or in a hurtful environment and being in survival mode to where you were in an environment where it was more loving, it was more receiving. But then for some of you, it's like, I don't know, for somebody, you could have been a foster child, you could also be adopted or something like that. But you know how when you're looking at movies and things, you always hear, or like if you actually have met foster kids, they'll tell you like, this place is so much better than my last place, or I've been to some shitty places. I've had some shitty foster parents, some that only just cared about the money. They didn't necessarily care about, you know, their well-being or your well-being, excuse me. And then I also grew up and I lived next to a foster home. She only had girls, and I got to experience head on and first on, like, the experience. And I wouldn't say it was bad, or the experience that she provided for them wasn't necessarily bad, or from my point of view, I would say. So I don't know, you could be somebody that you went from house to house to house, and maybe you were in a bad situation and then you ended up in a better situation, or something that you thought was going to be better, but it ended up being something where you ended up having to fight back, protect yourself, or end up more in defensive mode, because instead of it being better, it came with, other things. So maybe this person they have more to give you, but it still was that pain there. Or you know how people say, oh, they gifted me a lot, but then they still neglected me in other ways. Or you know how you can have people or parents or spouses that's there physically, but it still feels as if they're not there. So I don't know, you may have a parent that may have grew up where you grew up and they were always under the influence of some substance, because here in this airplane, I'm hearing take flight. And when you think of take flight, you know, people always say I'm on cloud nine. So I don't know. And it's like people who grew up different from you, or they didn't have to face the challenges that you had to face, you know, walking home from school, getting attacked, people taking your shoes, you getting bullied, you being touched by somebody that you trusted, you being hurt and betrayed by people that you trusted. It's like they don't understand you. They're not meant to understand you. For a lot of you, you've been hiding who you are or the things that you've suffered or faced, and it's time for you to speak up. Because remember, 555, you cannot heal what you hide, and you also cannot heal in the same places that cause your pain. So it's like you've been making the necessary changes and you've been elevating, but until they understand where you come from, they'll never understand where you're going. So please only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you want to book with me, text 786-264-2619. And things are taking off for you. You've prayed for it, now prepare for it. For a lot of you, they don't understand you. And for some of them, it's not meant for them. But for others, you have to speak up. You're a walking testimony. So I love you guys. Until next time.